Hi, I'm Austin Artham. Welcome to the Kitchen Table Podcast. Here to motivate, educate, and relate to you guys sharing my stories, helping get 1% better in all areas of your life. Welcome to episode, I believe it's 164. Love that you guys are here. Appreciate you guys being here. Again, we're going to be talking about one, a quote of the week this week, two, what I learned this, or where I saw God this week, and then three, what I learned this past week. We've been doing it once a month, so really it's what I learned the past month or so. Hopefully giving you guys some insight, talk about some different things that might go through our minds related to goals, things to be a better person, but better overall well-being, a lot of stuff with sports. Basically is sports psychology in action. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Leave a comment. Let me know if you want to hear something else or what you think of the episode. It's about 15 minutes long, which is going to be 1% of your day, which is going to be 1% of your week. Get 1% better this week. And that's all I got for you. So appreciate you guys. And without further ado, here we go. Number one, first thing I want to go through is a quote of the week this week. And that is, your life is directionally proportional to when you're able to say, screw it, I'll figure it out, right? I always get in a situation where we want to call the guys, what my dad used to always say. But the amount of times we say, hey, you know what? I can figure it out on my own. I can do this. And then we solve a problem after problem. Not only do we gain that experience, but we put in the piggy bank, right? I'm able to solve the problem and move forward. That gives us one more task we're able to do and feel okay about, right? Life's full of unknown things. And the only way to get better is to truly have that experience. So your life is directionally proportional to if you say, hey, I can figure it out, or no, I can't, I'm not able to do it. We're not going to take that risk. The more you can do it and figure it out, the better your life's going to be, the more experience you're going to have, probably the more money you're going to make, the more friends you're going to have, or kind of partners or business partners or people that you can rely on. The bigger the network is what I'm getting at. And the more beneficial and more tasks that you'll be able to do and have a wide variety of talents and skills. And that's what we want, especially in the sports world. The more you can do, the better off you have a chance of playing. And obviously, playing is what we do it for. So that's quote of the week this week. Where I saw God this week is kind of about similar to what I've seen in the past. And I've really honed in on it again this past month is every time that something's slow, God puts something in front of you, right? Business is slow, God puts something in front of you. God puts something unexpected in front of you that maybe you didn't think about, whether it's good or bad. Just realize that God is making it so you're ready for it, right? He's not going to give you something that you're not ready for or unable to be able to complete. Whether you're scared, nervous, whatever it might be, just any change, it could be good or bad. When God puts it in front of you, just know that he's setting you up for success, and he believes that you're able to go through it, and it's for some sort of reason that you might not know until the future. And that's one thing I learned this week or this month is in order to grow relationships, grow business, things like that, you get purpose by thinking about it, but you also get purpose thrown in front of you. How things unfold, whether in your control or out of your control, a lot of times gives you purpose for that next step in life. Again, this could be in relationships, business, it could be with family, it could be the next step of your athletic journey, moving from high school to college, one team offers, things like that. But just know that there's more purpose in whatever the next step is. A lot of times we like staying in our little comfort zone right now, and it's easy. We do the same thing all the time, and that's fine. We have less stress about that. But taking that next step takes courage, and when you have courage, you're going to, again, grow that piggy bank up there of I'm able to do this. I have another skill. I have another asset to my life. The more assets you can create in life, again, the more relationships you're going to have, the better well-being is going to be, the more success that you're going to have. And that's what we're all striving to have in our little niche of what we want to do in life. So that's one thing I learned. The other thing I learned is we want to create moments in life, not products. They say that selling things, you don't want to sell a product, right? People say yes to products when they think it's valuable for what they're selling it for. You want to create value for them, but you want to also, great salespeople create moments, right? When people are selling a car, they don't sell, it's this price, it has this heated seats, sunroof, whatever. They give them a picture of you taking a road trip, being in that car, building those memories, right? So when we do stuff, we want to create memories in our piggy bank, and that could be the problem solving. That could be us going on a trip. life's about moments and memories, not things. And people think they want things, but really they're looking for memories. And that's something that we want to have within our own personal lives and our professional lives. Because again, it's gonna advocate one, more purpose, right? It's gonna put that in front of you. Two, you're gonna have all the things I said before with networking and professionalism and business and whatever. But it's also just going to be something that gets you up in the morning and you're looking forward to and helps create that purpose faster. And again, that's something we want. It's not really tricking people, it's tricking the brain to know what matters. I run a kicking thing, and again, I don't want people who are going to show up half the time and not care about it. I want kids who are going to work hard, get better, and want to talk to me. There's certain kids that are able to progress faster, and those are the people we're looking for. Those are the people we're trying to sell to, because we know that that's going to pay dividends later for them and us, and we want everybody to win. Right? Same thing in life. You want everybody to win, so you got to be around those people. Third thing I thought about this week is just giving a presentation, and I was thinking about some of my friends and some other things, and something I thought about is when a lot of times coaches, really how I thought about this is coaches leave all the time, right, from schools, and they have families, and the families got to move and stuff like that, and it'd be hard to do that. So then I think, well, being a parent would be hard in general too. So then I think coaching parents, well, what's the difference? And I came to the conclusion of the best coaches coach like they parent, right? They're invested. They won't want their kid to do what the players are doing, so they act as a father figure, a mother figure, right? And the more that we act like a parent and have that vision, everybody has a vision of what they want to do, hopefully, and a goal in mind. And however they parent is going to transition to how they treat people at their job and how they coach. So I'm relating it directly from athlete to coach or kid to parent. It's going to be that same kind of relationship. Kids doing something you don't want them to, you teach them. Same thing in athletics. You want to teach them, coach them up on it. We want to have the same response that we would as a parent and as a coach, because the best coaches, maybe the best parents, and vice versa, in my opinion. Again, I have a biased look out of how my life is lived and how I've seen coaches and what I think a good coach is, and that can be different in a bunch of realms. But I think that there's similarities of you don't have two different personalities. You are who you are. I think the best coaches treat their players as they would their own kids. And I think that's important because it's going to help you be better at both. And then going off that is why coaches leave all the time. I think about the transfer portal, things like that. And there's always competition, right? There's competition. I think of the other kind of kicking people in my other job who does sports psychology, and every group does it, right? So what sets myself apart? And what does that process look like? There's always going to be competition, whatever you're trying to do. You could be at a high school with 30 people and there's still somebody else who wants to be quarterback. Right? There's less competition, but there's still competition. You're at a huge school with 2,000 people. There might be 7 quarterbacks on a team. So what sets you apart? How do you become better? And I think it's in a kind of a 4-step process. Number one, do you have enough knowledge? Right. So in my regard, do I have enough knowledge to be able to coach people up, kicking and the mental side of things, whatever I'm teaching them, right? Do I have enough knowledge to be competent? Number two is, do you have a network? Because if nobody knows that you're able to do it, it doesn't matter. So 2, who can you network for? What's your background in? Who do you know? Who do they know? And then are they willing to advocate for you? So number 2 is knowledge. Number 3 is, do you have creativity but within simplicity? Everybody wants to do these crazy ideas and stuff like that, but sometimes it's the simple ideas just with a little twist on it. And I always say use the term be Mario. Right? Mario is kind of good at everything on his little stripe thing to try to get his power up all the way to the full notch, but he's just good at everything, right? He's got normal power, normal speed, things like that, but he's good at it all. He's not like Bowser, who's super powerful but really slow. So we want to have creativity within simplicity, right? And down to the basics, fundamentals. What are we doing right? What are our values? Things like that. And then be creative of how to reach people in that regard. So you got to have creativity within simplicity, I think. And then number 4, you got to execute it, right? Everything we said previously is got to hit 1, 2, 3, and then 4, you go do it. right? It's great to train during the week. It's great to work on your craft, but if you don't do it on game day, then it doesn't matter. So we got to figure out how to execute to our best. And I think that's what's really cool about Indiana, back on this coaching stuff, is because it's fun to watch Indiana even when they're up by 50, because Kirk Cignetti has everybody doing what they need to do at all times. Right? There's barely any mistakes, only a couple penalties. They catch every ball, right? They're in the right spot, and then it just becomes pure execution. You can deal with pure execution. You can't deal with false starts, penalties, things like that. So it's just fun to see that vision come to life. I mean, how hard they work, and then it be executed, right? And some of this might take time. Cignetti, he's been doing this for 20 years, right? It just happened to be on a Big Ten stage finally last couple of years, but he's been doing it other places and building as athletes build. And that's the same thing that we want to do. Sometimes it comes down to genetics and who's good, blah, blah, blah. But over time, the longer you do it, the better it's going to be. Slowly, we're going to build up that network. Slowly, we're going to build the knowledge. Again, back to my first point, through experience. Whatever God is throwing at you, you can do it. And I think that's something that we usually, I get this all the time. I get scared, nervous of what might happen, right? There's no point in worrying about things that haven't happened yet, and just solve problem after problem and be okay with it and enjoy the heck out of life, because that's what we're here for. Some days, yeah, it sucks. But you know what? Having that vision and having a purpose, and I wouldn't go back to last conversation we had. I said, well, what are we trying to build, right? And I don't necessarily know the answer to that for everybody. I don't even know the answer to myself sometimes. But if you enjoy the heck out of it and you're doing the right things in your mind, whatever is correct, you're on the right path. And I think that's the same in coaching, as an athlete, parenting, in your job, your overall well-being, everything we've talked about today. I think that fits that thing, and that's going to provide you value and you give others value too. So then you're able to do those other things that you want and create a great life for yourself. So those are the main topics that I wanted to hit on today. The other thing I want to hit on is when things aren't going good, it's called the black coffee theory, right? So you're sitting down, you're having a conversation with somebody at Starbucks, and they're like, oh, I just got black coffee. And then they're talking about, hey, I wish I could afford a latte. I would love to have milk and cream in it. I like cinnamon. In the fall, I like pumpkin spice. And the person just acting like, why do you like this stuff? What do you want out of it? And they just keep saying, yeah, I just have black coffee. Like, it's boring, right? And then when change comes, they don't want it because they cost them more money. So the black coffee theory is essentially we're stuck in our own ways, right? We want something else, but we're not willing to go get it because we're so busy thinking about this is how it's been, this is where it's at, what if, in those scenarios, right? Where we're stuck in kind of our crappy, this is how it is, and that's just it, right? We're willing to make a change. Are we scared about the change? And what's the worst that could happen? I think there's calculated risks that are great for us. Again, perfection is unattainable. We become our best versions of ourselves when we take some calculated risks and we solve those problems with what come with it. Because that makes us go to the next step. And that's why it's comfortable for where we're at and why change is hard. But I think change is worth it. And a lot of times, just like when I threw out the stat a while ago of, hey, 76% of people who change jobs end up making more money and being happier. It's a hard thing to do because you're shifting everything. It's a lot of work to change insurance, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, it's worth it. Right? So what does that relate to in your life? What does that relate to in your education? What does it relate to for you for your athletic career, right? Your relationships. What is that for you? That's something for you to figure out, but I would just reflect on. Last thing I'll leave you with is there's a difference between awareness and mindfulness. Awareness is knowing that it's there. Being mindful is knowing that it's there and thinking about, okay, what if, what's next? What are the steps I can take? And then again, always end with number 4, go execute it the best of your ability. And that's all I got this week. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope this is worth your time, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.